Well, how are you doing? Welcome to ModeCast.
Yo, you guys coming or what? All right, let's go. Let's go. Two guys down by the way, got a lot of things to say, talking about this life and all its problems, yeah. Corrupted government, gay rights and Caitlyn, friendships and all the ways to solve them, yeah. So you got nothing better to do, sit around and drink some booze, think fast, make it last, just the past, tune in to the ModeCast, to the ModeCast, to the ModeCast, to the ModeCast,
It's just the two of us. Welcome to the ModeCast with just me, Jeremy Mode, and the Modester.
What up, what up, what up?
I came over here, woke him up, told him we had to do a podcast.
Yeah, we're still, I don't know, dude. This, even every other week, it still doesn't feel as much like a job, but I hate feeling like one needs to be rushed still.
Well, it's just because we haven't hung out with anybody, really. You've been working on your house again, so we haven't been able to sit down and do anything.
Yeah.
I've been busy dealing with it, trying to get ready for the desert.
That's why I don't like Jasmine hates when I start projects because it like totally consumes me.
Yeah, you didn't even ask me for help.
That's because it was too physical labor. It was funny on Saturday. Saturday night. Trevor was like, "Hey, why don't you call your brother? Have him come over." I'm like, "Nah, it's all right."
I told Brandy too. I was like, I'm not going over there. I'm not offering my help until he asks. You never want to ask. You just want me to be like, "Hey, you want me to help?"
Because that's what I do. And that's what Jasmine always yells at me. She's like, "Not everyone's like you." She's like, "So if you want help, then just ask."
But I've made it a point now from you that you have to ask me for help.
Like when I was moving, like people I didn't offer to help me, I was like, "What a piece of shit!" I helped them every time.
So people ask you.
What?
People ask you. People say, "Hey, can you help me?" And you go, "Yeah, sure, no problem." But you don't ever want to ask.
If someone mentions that they're going to move, I'm like, "Hey, if you need help, like just give me a holler."
Yeah, because you expect. I swear, like I've always told you, you build this like pile of people who owe you favors, and then you expect them to help you when the time comes.
But it's not even that. I do stuff for people that I don't ever expect anything. But I'm just saying that like people that I'm really close to, if they know that I need help and they don't even offer, I'm like, what a dick.
Yeah, because people don't want to help.
So I don't say like I expected, but I would say that yeah, whatever. Dude, I expect it.
I know you do. That's why I swear, like for the longest time, when, like, especially before you got your house, when you like were always doing favors for people.
Yeah.
You were just building up this whole like list of people. They're like, all right, I did this for them, I did this for them, and then eventually they're gonna get me back.
But honestly, though, dude, I do feel really good though when I help people.
Well, yeah, everybody feels good when they help people.
Actually, I feel really good when I help people. Besides moving, I feel nothing great about that at all.
Oh, yeah, moving. Well, this is that physical labor aspect, because after you help someone move, the next day your back hurts. And then everything else. Like, I'm almost curious how much it would be. Dude, you need to get a case for that. Set it somewhere where you're not going to drop it.
Damn, I dropped it again.
So, off topic, but this case was, I think, $25, and I've dropped my phone from all different heights.
Dude, I drop my shit like fucking hard though. That's why I didn't get the Otterbox. Dude, I fucking did a wheelie and landed on top of it and my phone's still alive.
I really need to get on creating a page where we can just post stupid videos of us, or pictures of us and little videos.
Yeah.
Videos, I don't know how to get on there. I'd have to do some research.
Onto our website?
Yeah, on our website. I figured out how to get pictures up there. I still haven't found any to put of us up there because I don't have any on my computer of us.
Dude, that was fun this weekend, man, at the desert. It was a blast.
Dude, next month's going to be fun. I hit Charlie up, but he said he might have a fucking family thing to go to.
I forget how addicting wheelies are. Like, if we didn't leave, dude, I could have sat out there for hours and just sit there and like, it's like as a kid, you know, like when you're doing what's it? Yeah, wheeling on a skateboard. What's it called?
Oh, manual?
Yeah, manual. Remember we sat there for hours trying to beat each other's lines? Well, I mean, you always won, but I'm saying like it's.
Well, Titus gets mad at me because I always ride next to him doing wheelies on our bicycles.
Yeah.
Daddy, stop it! Why do you always have to do that? I'm like, well, it's fun, man.
Well, dude, I was fucking laughing at the video at Sal's because I'm watching it and like I fall. He's like, he fell again.
That's how you know he's the spawn of us. We tortured that kid.
Yeah. Landon's all serious, like, oh, I hope my dad's okay. Yeah,
Well, not to mention, you threw him into a mode temper.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I miss that, man. I miss going out to Des. I was telling Jasmine, like, because she hasn't been so long, so it's like, or she only went that one time, so she doesn't know that, like, stress relief feeling of being out in the desert for the weekend.
Well, then we somewhat grew up in the desert. I mean, it was part of it's kind of our playground.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not professional dirt bike riders or anything, but we played out in the desert way too much.
Yeah. And when Jeremy says play, he actually means like we actually just went out and played. My dad lived in the desert till I was 9. You were like 14, 15?
No, younger than that, because
no, 8. I was 8 when he moved out.
When we left the desert.
Yeah, when he left the desert, I was 8.
Yeah,
You were 12.
Yeah, because Tamara and Dad came to my 13th birthday party.
Yeah, so we grew up in Octio Wells pretty much. We're little redneck babies.
Spent our weekends out there.
Yeah.
Dad was too poor to actually really get us our own, great functioning dirt bikes, but we had, little things. That
what did
80.
You had an 80?
No, it wasn't. It was Owls, Papa Owls.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because he would never sell it to Dad, but he would let us ride it all day long. But he wouldn't
Yeah.
sell it to Dad, and we couldn't take it we couldn't really take it off Al's property that far.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Like, Papa Al was a legit hoarder, but he had so much fucking acreage it didn't really count.
He had like 3 pieces of property in Ocotillo Wells they stored his shit on. And then he didn't care. For us, it was an adventure to go through all of his cars and trailers. And all right, so a little backstory. Our parents moved to Ocotillo Wells for Dad's job at the gypsum plant out in Ocotillo Wells. And we ended up renting a house on their property, and the house was right behind their restaurant. By right behind, I mean our back door was like 15 feet from the back door of the restaurant. So we got to know the owners really well, and they became our grandparents. And Ryan used to ride around with who we call Papa Al daily. I mean, they were like, 2 peas in a pod. You guys kicked it all the time.
Yeah.
You got your fucking doughs, a.k.a. donuts.
Yeah, I was a little fat kid, so he fed me donuts every single day.
But they let us do whatever we wanted.
Yeah.
Like we were their spoiled grandkids. Spoiled adopted grandkids.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, we used to have our little adventures running through the car. How do we not ever get bit by a snake or a spider
or some kind of infection, cutting ourselves on those rusty cars?
Like we were telling Brittany the other day when we were on top of that big ass barrel and rolled it over, and there's a couple rattlesnakes underneath of it.
Yeah, shit's nuts. Yeah, it was fun. No, but I was trying to explain to Jasmine though that like,
Yeah, the stress relief you get from...
Well, because she only went up there that one time with us, but I'm saying, like, if you're really familiar with the desert, like, you understand that, like, you do not think about your home life when you're out there. Like, everything goes away. Like, Trevor and I were just talking about this last week when he was here. Like, you don't think about anything. All your stresses are removed. All you're doing, I mean, you're in the middle of nowhere. You don't think about what's in your bank account. You don't think about what's going on at work.
Dude, now that because I bought a dirt bike a week ago now. Now that I have it and I need to do work to it, like, and I'm really trying... I don't know what it is. As I've gotten older, like I've kind of had more and more of a do-it-yourself mentality. Plus, watching you has given me more confidence that, like, no, we can do shit ourselves. Like, we don't have to like save up money and take it to a shop and pay $100 an hour for labor. Because Brittany was like, "What?" Because I was looking at getting tires, and I'm like, "I'll just take it to the shop and I'll put tires on it." She's like, "Why don't you just do it yourself?" And I'm like, I don't know how to change dirt bike tires. It's not like a bicycle tire. If I can watch a video on how to do it, it's pretty similar to a bicycle tire.
Just a lot harder to get the actual tire on the rim.
Yeah, it's because you do have to set the bead on the dirt bike tire, but it's not as serious as like a tubeless tire because they still have tubes. I watched the video, and it's like this 20-minute video, and this dude was amazing. He described what he was doing and why he was doing it and why he was using the tools he was using. Like, it was fucking awesome. Like, I was like, I want this dude to be my friend.
Those kind of videos are so awesome because you're like, dang, you need to make more videos.
Well, and so at the end of the
super
video,
detailed?
because he started off like, all right, I'm described to you how to do this with a few simple tools right in your own garage. You don't need a fucking tire holder or the rim hole mount to do this. You can just do it right on the floor in your garage. And he described a few simple tools he used. He walked through the whole thing at the end of the video. He's like, yes, you can get these tools. They're awesome. They make life just a little bit easier. But I'm showing you how you can do it if you're willing to man up and sweat a little bit. He's like, I've been working on bikes for years, and I still only use these tools because I'm a man about it. And I was like, all right, I feel like a little bitch now. So then I went out in my garage and removed the forks off my bike.
What kind of tools was he using?
Just 2 wrenches. It's a 12 or 13 millimeter you need to remove the chain tension or loosen up the chain tensioner, and then 27 millimeter wrench to remove the axle bolt. And you push the axle out, and then you need 3 tire spoons. Because, I mean, you could use screwdrivers, but you just risk ruining your rim and tire and tube.
I remember doing that with my bike. When you use a screwdriver, sometimes you fucking...
Bicycle tires are so easy to get on and off.
Yeah.
And tire spoons, and then shows you how to work it around. Oh, and the 12 millimeter is also because you have a bead hold... on a dirt bike tire, you have a... It holds the bead... It holds your tire on the bead. I forget what it's called. But... showed and just walked through everything really simply, and it's just those 3 tire spoons, 2 wrenches, and that's it. Oh, and he was using Windex to lube up the tire to make things easier to slip on and off.
Yeah.
And he said he used Windex because Windex evaporates really quickly. Because you could use like soapy water or something, but then that just takes forever to dry and just sets on your tire. Compared to the Windex, because it has alcohol in it, so it evaporates fairly quick.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some shit though that I don't really care to do on the bike. Like, I mean, a lot of it's just time based, but like for instance, like some of the guys at our work, they'll change their own bike tires. Like, they'll balance tire and everything. I'm like, I don't see the point in buying all that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather just take my bike to the shop and have them change my tire.
Like watching on the dirt bike, like I'm more than willing to do that now that I've watched it done.
Yeah.
And I also watched a video on how to make sure your chain tension's really good. On my street bike, I'd much rather have a shop do it because I'm going 100 miles an hour.
That's what I was about to get at right now. The speeds I go on my street bike, I'm not trying to risk that.
No, I want it done properly. I want it done by a professional. Like, I watched Fernando at work. I watched him work on his bike a lot. And the only thing I haven't seen him do is change a tire. He takes the rim off and takes the tire takes that to the shop because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, on my street bike, I guess I could do that because you have the chain tensioners and all you need is they have marks on the back that shows you how to get it lined up on both sides. But if you really want it done right, you use calipers. Use calipers so you get it down to the millimeter on each side and make sure it's straight.
You know what I wish, dude? I wish I can get in that mindset where it's like I cared a little bit more about money just because of the fact that, like, when it comes to like $40-50, I'm like, oh, so what? It's $40-50. But it's like I always think that way about everything. And it's like I'm not. You know what I mean? I don't have that kind of money to be thinking like that. But I always think that way.
Like I told you yesterday when I was talking to you about finding that guy on Craigslist, I fucking hope he hits me up. But I wish I would have taken the forks off my street bike and taken them in. Like,
yeah.
Because it's not that hard. Like, removing the front wheel and everything, it's just an axle bolt that you're setting in there. It's not that big of a deal compared to, like, the rear tire. The rear tire scares me more because you're lining it up and everything with the chain and the chain to get the proper chain tension. The front tire, I don't have any problem taking that off. And to save yourself $45, I mean, what's it going to take you, an hour to remove everything?
Yeah, so as I'm saying, like, even you saying $45, I'm like, it's $45, so what? But it's like, no, it is $45.
Well, I look at it as in, so I could take my bike to a shop, or I could take my forks to a shop, and it's still going to cost me, I don't know, fucking $250, $300, even though I took the forks off myself for them to rebuild them, compared to taking them to this dude. If he hits me back, because I emailed him yesterday and I still haven't got a response from him. He says he charges $150, flat, and he's been working on forks for years. And for a dirt bike, I'm willing to go ahead and trust it and see how it turns out. And I could do mine. But what's awesome is I can get my 3-wheeler and dirt bike forks done for the same price as taking them to the shop.
Yep.
For just one of them.
Yep.
And so I'm like, oh, cool. What? And then and then saving that extra $45. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and buy a new tire. With that $45, I'm gonna buy a new front tire for my 3-wheeler. So it's like I start like watching how I'm saving by doing it myself, and I'm able to buy extra things. It's actually starting to help out.
Yeah, I was talking about the desert. I was talking to Jazz, and she was like, this would be the first year going out and spending the night with our kids. And like, anytime we've ever gone, we've thrown an air mattress in the back of our truck, put a canopy over it so the morning dew doesn't hit us, and like it's awesome. I feel like I'm in a trailer because it's it's just it's our own little like nook. But now, like, when I was like, so we're just in a tent it? You're like, yeah, I actually thought of like, fuck. I mean, I slept in a tent in the desert fucking for like, since I was 18.
No, because last time me and you went to the desert, that was 3 years ago. And we just put Easy up over the bed of your truck, and we both slept in the bed of your Ranger.
We slept in the air mattress, right?
No,
we should have blankets down.
No, we laid sleeping mats. We put like...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
2 or 3 sleeping mats a piece, then we laid a couple blankets on top of that, and then our sleeping bags on top of that.
And I guarantee we slept better than everybody.
I was still drinking then, so...
I'm talking about comfort-wise.
I was still drinking then. I always slept.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I always hated about waking up in the desert was you woke up to hearing fucking 2 strokes.
Well, I love that, dude, because no matter what, like, you can't sleep in the desert. That's what I love. What are you looking for? WD-40?
WD-40, because I'm not sitting in that piece of shit chair.
What's wrong with that one? That one sink in?
I think that's the one that let me see. Oh, it's not that one. Wait.
Oh, no, the one that sinks in is outside, I believe.
No, I'll stay here for a second. Yeah, this chair sucks.
Yeah, no, but I like that. The personal alarm clock on the desert, like, it's nice. You don't have anyone...
But it would be... The problem that I always had was that we would party till like 3 or 4 in the morning, and then dirt bikes were going at sunrise, which is 5:30 or 6.
Yeah.
So we'd always get no sleep, and then trying to, we'd get no sleep Friday night, no sleep Saturday night, and then try to ride home, or try to drive home Sunday on no sleep and being hungover.
Dude, those guys, I feel like, are the crazy, just dirt bike enthusiasts. Like me, I've never gotten up at sunrise. Like, all right, we got to go ride. I'm always like, eat breakfast, maybe drink a couple more beers, cure my hangover.
That's how we always did it. Our first ride wouldn't be till like 10 or 11 in the morning.
Yeah.
So other guys are like, taking their fucking lunch break. They've already been out for a couple hours.
You know what I don't get, dude, about Landon? Like, I felt like he was doing good riding the bike, but I don't know. Like, he's still just not about it. Like, no matter what, like if he doesn't, like I said, if he doesn't have a cage around him, if he doesn't feel like he's in complete control, like he doesn't like that.
It was weird because I thought he was going to fit better on it, but he's still he barely fits on it.
Well, his feet don't even touch the ground.
Yeah.
He leans to one side and he's on tippy toes, and his other foot's on the brake.
So I could see why he'd be a little worried about it. But with the way he drives the Power Wheel, I thought he'd be ready to go with it. But maybe it is the difference between riding and driving.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Because the Power Wheel doesn't have a cage around him, but he fucking mobs it like a champ.
Yeah.
And even on the slowest speed setting on the quad, he was freaked out. And it's the difference between sitting in a seat and riding on top of the motor.
But it was weird that even when he was doing good, we'd first take off, and he'd be like, Dad, can we go back now? It's like I was forcing him to do something fun.
Well, he did say he had fun on it, but I don't know if that was to appease us.
That was just for us.
Because Silas, well, he got a little sketched after he, indoed and racked his chest on the handlebars, which I should have brought his chest protector that time, but I didn't think he was going to go ride as well as he was.
Yeah.
So it tripped me out because that was his second time being on the quad, and he hopped right on, started, and it had barely started. He was already on the throttle taking off, and I didn't have to re-show him how to start or anything. No, he already remembered how to start it. And it was a little weird. I mean, weird and proud watching him just do it himself and go.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna order some new tires for it because those tires have zero teach him how to go up and down hills. It was really hard because it would lose traction so quickly.
I think that thing will just smash up hills with the amount of power that thing has, also with some tready tires.
Because I was looking at knobbies. I found some knobbies for like $20 a piece, and then I can just put them on myself. Because I was watching videos yesterday on how to remove ATV tires on your own because they're all tubeless. Well, actually, most ATV tires are tubeless, but those Chinese quads all have tubes.
Huh.
I was watching videos on how to set the bead. There's like 3 different ways to set the bead. And there's the redneck way. Have you ever seen it? Of using a starting fluid or something flammable?
Where you light it and just...
Yeah. And then...
I've seen it done to diesels. Do with a firecracker? I think it's a firecracker they put in there. Yeah, firecracker.
I must have had some kind of flammable liquid in there still.
Yeah.
Like a dude I went to high school with, I'm Facebook friends with him, and I watched him because he drives a front loader tractor. That's what he does for a living. And he had a tire come off the bead on the job, and he reset it with starting fluid. And it was crazy watching one of those big ass tractor tires just zoom, suck up to the rim. but I don't think I'd do that myself. I don't want to risk blowing up a tire because you could do it just by removing the valve core. I guess is the safe way to do it. And you just take an air compressor and blow it up. You inflate it above the PSI you're supposed to have it at, but you leave the valve core out so that air goes right back out, and then you put the valve core back in and blow it up to the right pressure. Because I was watching people I watched a dude do it online yesterday with a fucking just one of those little shitty compressors that you like plug into your car.
Yeah.
But I can only imagine he did it because he did it to his ATV, but I can only imagine how much pressure he had in it to get it to set the bead. Because I just want to risk blowing the tire up.
Well, I blew Melissa's daughter's bike tire up in my face, and I was like, dude, oh my! I was never so freaked out that I lost all my hearing. It was so bad. Like Melissa and Jazz come around, I was like, what happened? And I'm like sitting there like, oh, like my ears were in pain, and that was from just a little bike tire, because she still rode it over there when it was flat, so the tube was pinched. So as soon as I put the air compressor up to it, I only got a few pounds in it before it blew. But it was gnarly. Like, I've never been in that much pain, like from my ears from a sound.
Yeah, I watched a couple of exploding tire videos yesterday also because they're right in the list of putting a bead on. It's funny though, people were using they put a 2x4 or just a thick piece of wood up against the tire and drive their truck up on it to get it to push the tire off the bead. And then I watched another guy do it with just tire spoons. He just put some soapy water in there and just worked it with a tire spoon and came right off the bead. I'm like, so you're risking damaging the rim, with using a 2x4 because they were putting it like right close up to the lip. So like, I'm like, from what I was watching, it's like you're really risking damaging your rim when you just put a couple tire spoons and some lube in there and knock it right off.
Yeah, but either way though, if it goes wrong, we're gonna get some more YouTube videos or YouTube views.
I was tripped out how many views those videos had because it's just like there were several videos of how to get the bead off and how to reset the bead. And hundreds of thousands of views. Hundreds of thousands of views, I should say.
Think about how many guys are do-it-yourself kind of guys.
I just am really happy we're in the age of YouTube, so I don't have to ask around to several people and just watch a video. No, that's how you do it.
Well, I trip out like the few things I know how to do. Dad gets all mind blown over, and I'm like, yeah, but I have a video I get to watch. Like you guys had nothing back in the day.
No, you just had to figure it out or talk to somebody who knew how to do it to help them to.
I would have no skill. I'd have no skill set if I didn't have YouTube.
Well, I will say I took the forks off my bike and I didn't watch any videos. It was just looking at where it was hooked up and connected, which was very fucking simple.
Yeah.
But I could have easily done it wrong.
I don't know. I DIY everything, do you?
Like I said, because of you, I've tried to just do more myself. And then watching that video, if that dude talks shit about removing the dirtbag rim himself, where he's just like, if you're willing to man up and just sweat a little.
Yeah, but Steve has that mentality though. He's like, Steve always tell me that, oh well, whatever, it's just my time. Why not do it myself? It's just my time. But I don't know, man. As it is, I feel like I work on shit too much. So it's like that couple hours I'm going to spend on something that could only cost me $40. I'd rather just pay for it.
I started adding up how much I make an hour compared to how much I'm spending an hour. That's what really started pissing me off. Because you're like, oh, it's only $40. Well, if it only took you an hour to do it,
yeah, exactly.
You just wasted $40, and you don't make $40 an hour.
Well, remember I was telling you that I started stressing myself out when I don't know, maybe a year ago. I started thinking every time I'd buy, I would start thinking damn, that was 2 hours of work. Fuck, that was 6 hours of work. That was a whole day's and that's what freaked me out. And you're like, oh yeah, I don't think like that anymore. Because you're telling me you went down that road before, and you're like, yeah, I try to think about that kind of stuff.
Well, that's because I try to avoid it, but now it's like, well, if I really just do it myself, I'm wasting my own time, but as long as I'm not wasting, because I make X amount an hour as it is. If I waste let's say I waste 2 hours on something when I could have paid $40 to have it done, that's $20 an hour, and depending on which job I'm at, I make more than that. But it's my own time that I'm wasting, and I'm learning in the process. So I'm not really losing at the end of the day, and I try to do things where I'm not wasting Silas's time, because I do have the advantage of not having Silas with me a couple days a week.
Yeah.
Or, 5 days a week, but, 2 of those I'm working a second job. So that's why, I'm going to tell you your idea about the bar thing I don't want to do. Because I would only have time on the weekends, and that's my time with Silas.
Yeah. Yeah, Jazz asked me today, did he ever get back to you? We're talking about wanting to start building bars, just little, bars you throw in a garage. Because I was watching on Pinterest and shit, seeing what these guys are selling them for on Craigslist. Close to $800. And I was telling Jeremy, we can knock out one of these material alone, for under $200.
But it'd be like 10 hours worth of time.
Yeah, well, probably even more because the shit that I was talking about, doing some tiling in the front.
And then I have a little over 48 hours with Silas a week.
Hey, how is that like during summertime? Because you have them pretty much majority of the time. Is it like just a huge?
I found it because this past summer was our first time, mine and Katie's first time dealing with it.
Yeah.
And me and Brittany, we have more of a flexible work schedule than Michael and Katie does.
Yeah.
So me and Brittany took them during the week. So me and Brittany had them Monday through Friday, and then Katie and Michael had them on the weekend. I did not like it because I didn't really have quality time with him. I mean, we had every morning together pretty much, but it wasn't like me and him would go do something, but it wasn't like me, him, and Brittany going and doing shit, because me, him, and Brittany go do a lot of things together.
Yeah.
And it's like, I really am like the Disneyland dad, because although I don't take him to Disneyland, we go do fun shit every weekend.
Yeah.
And like we'll go on long bike rides. I mean, now that we're gearing up for the desert, we're going to start going to the desert more often. It's just strictly based on fun, and it's also based on me having fun at the same time. Like, we haven't gone mini golf in a while, and so me and Silas are going to go, since next weekend's Halloween weekend, we're not going to go to the desert. We're going to go play mini golf and probably go on a bike ride. And I don't have to pay for mini golf, so.
Jeremy's that shitty parent that brings the golf balls and the golf clubs and lets his kid know they're stealing.
Hey, I pay for the arcade. If the Family Fun Centers weren't so fucking overpriced, I wouldn't fucking play for free.
Do you ever trip out with the games in those arcades? Like how they're the same games that when we were kids?
Dude, they're even shittier. We had better games as kids.
But I mean, I'm saying, like, it's mind-blowing, though, that, like, these kids are still, like, all about the arcades. They're not as packed as, like, when we were kids. You remember having to, like, wait for a game? Like, when we'd go bowling as a kid?
Do what?
Like, you'd have to actually wait for, like, the good games, like the race car games and shit.
Oh, yeah, for sure. When you stand in line, waiting to get on it, waiting for the kids to get off.
There's still, I mean, there's still a lot of kids, but nothing like the amount of kids in the arcade when we were kids.
Like, when I go to the Family Fun Center with Silas, I play golf for free, and then we usually buy, like, a snack there, which, nachos are, like, fucking $8. And it's, 50 cents worth of cheese and 50 cents worth of chips. And then we'll play the arcade games. And God, the amount arcade games have gone up is insane. Like, for the shitty games to win tickets, like, it was overpriced when we were kids. Now it's ridiculously overpriced. Like, the shitty game where you pay for the light to go around, you have to stop the light to get a certain amount of tickets. Yeah. That is, I want to say, I think it's $1 a play.
$1?
Yeah, it's like $1 a play.
Those are like the shitty games that were like nothing to play.
Yeah. Oh. Got a text message I was hoping there's that guy getting back to me. I'm really excited about getting my forks fixed. Really excited about getting the 3-wheeler fixed.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, fuck the arcade. Although the kids love it. Like, the last time I took Landon with me, we went and played the arcade. But that's the only reason I fucking don't pay for mini golf is so that we can go and play in the arcade. It's like double the fun. Because mini golf is almost $10 a round per person.
$10?
$10.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
$10 for 18 holes of mini golf. Oh, and fucking El Cajon, they changed their golf course. They turned their 2 courses, 2 18-hole courses, into 4 9-hole courses, and they still charge the same amount.
Wow.
For one round. Because I had parents, I saw a couple of dads the last time I was there, and they were like, they'd come up to the 10th hole, which was where they still takes the ball from you. And I was like, hey, don't play this hole. I'm like, they cut their courses in half. I was like, just move on to the next one. And they're like, what? And I explained it to them. They're like, oh, yeah, fuck this. We're playing for free.
That's shady. That's crazy. So if you want to keep finishing the game, you got to go back up and buy another ball.
Yeah, and I think it's $8 or $9 a round per person. And it doesn't matter if you're a kid or an adult.
Yeah, it's
under 5 is free. So Landon is still free.
Landon can be free until he's like 7. That kid's so tiny.
Hell yeah. Until he opens his mouth. No, that's not a 5-year-old voice. But that's why I play for free, because it started to get expensive because it was $27 for me, Brittany, and Silas to play mini golf for one round. So that's why I went and bought our own clubs and stole a bunch of fucking golf balls from the Family Fun Center, because they're always in the bushes where people lose them.
Yeah.
Like, I have like 15 balls at the house from the Family Fun Center.
Dude, I remember the last memory I have as a kid going to a Family Fun Center was at Scandia. Me, Bobby Zell, I think Chad and Corey went over there, and we were hitting lights into the freeway. Those fucking lights that you unscrew, how it lights up the mini golf course. I was like, oh my god, what a bunch of shitheads. But you know, like breaking lights was so fun when you were like in elementary school, and we were fucking hucking them onto the fruit. Not like we can't actually make it to the street, but we were hucking them into like all the rocks in the rock area.
I've yelled at so many kids at the Family Fun Center. Like, it's hard because I talked to Brittany about it, where I go back and forth between when I was that age, I was also acting the same way because we'd go there without our parents. But now that I'm a dad, I'm yelling at the kids for the same exact shit that I did as a kid.
Yeah. Well, dude, I remember walking, like, wait at the hole. We'd look around and then, like, take our golf club and hit it up into the light and break the light, like, psh, and then just walk to the next one.
So I haven't caught any kids doing that, but there's this kid. What pissed me off is his parents were there, but his parents were golfing. He was just wandering around the golf course doing whatever he wanted. And we hit our ball down to the end of the hole, and he walked up and then, like, hit our ball into the hole.
Oh, I remember you telling me about that, yeah.
I was like, hey!
Didn't Brittany end up yelling at him, too?
Yeah. It was funny. She got all pissed at him. Like, 'cause you don't really see Brittany, like, lash out like that.
Yeah.
But she's so used to, like, even though she's technically a step-parent, like, she acts like a parent.
Yeah.
And it's hard for her to be around kids and not have that mentality now.
Yeah.
'Cause it's funny to watch her with, like, around her cousins or her niece. Because she actually, like, steps up and, like, is the first one to say something. Because, well, she's gotten used to it with being around Silas and Landon and whatnot, that if you're not on top of it, they get away with whatever they want.
Yep. Dude, I was, when Trevor was out here, we were talking, I was like, it scares me, like, thinking about Landon or Miles doing the shit that we used to do. Like, I don't know how I'd react, if someone brought him home and told me. He's like, yeah, but you gotta remember, dude, they're fucking kids, and we did the exact same shit. And I was like, yeah. He's like, I mean, yeah, obviously you gotta discipline him. He's like, but don't fucking go to the extremes. Like, you do the same exact shit. But it's like, I can feel myself overreacting, like, thinking about it. Because we were driving by, and, like, we saw some of the city water lines that were kind of exposed. And Trevor was like, that shit would never fly in Rancho. He's like, it should be broken. And I was like, fuck, that's so right. Like, if we saw an exposed water line, we'd go up and kick,
I was never the shitty kid to go break shit. I was just with the kids that did it. But how many sprinkler heads in people's front yards I watched my friends break?
I don't. Yeah, it was never really the like city shit, or I mean, people's houses that I saw friends. It was always like, it was always either like school sprinkler heads and like city shit.
Yeah, but like what Trevor said about like don't take it to the extreme with discipline. It's kind of hard to. It's kind of easy to talk about that when you're not the one doing it.
Yeah.
Because I would like to say that like I'm not going to be harsh, but I'm always really hard on Silas.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to like differentiate because I want him to act a certain way. Not that I'm trying to control his behavior, but just I want him to stay within like a certain guideline.
Yeah, I'm the same way with Lennon.
There's this kid in Silas's class. He was actually at Silas's birthday party. His name is Kale. And almost every morning I drop Silas off at school, I want to like yell at him because he's fucking with another kid. Like I was not today, but last week I dropped him off and I had to go to the office and talk to the people in the office about something. And I was walking out and they were standing right outside their classroom, Kale and this little girl, and they were doing something, they're responsible for getting something and bringing it back into the room. And she was like, Kale, stop. And he like grabs her and like pinches the shit out of her. And she's like, oh, starts crying. I'm like, hey. And he looks at me like all shocked because he knows who I am. He knows I'm Silas's dad. I'm like, that wasn't nice. But he's just a fucking shithead of a kid. You can tell he gets hardly any discipline. And the way his grandma was treating him at Silas's birthday party, because his grandma was telling me that his mom's in school, so she watches him a lot. And I'm like, this kid gets away with everything.
Yeah. Well, what is that with grandparents? I mean, obviously I'm not grandparents, I don't know. But like for the most part, I would say, majority of grandparents out there definitely let their grandkids get away with anything.
I think they've already been a parent, so they don't want to do it anymore. And they don't ever want to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
So it's more of a mentality of, because you know how stressful it is to go through the discipline and whatnot. Like, it's not a lot of fun to do.
I don't know. I look at it this way. Like, we're already parents, and we still discipline each other as kids if you're not around. If one of us aren't around.
Yeah, but how's it going to be in 20 years?
Yeah, it's true. Because I actually had a little taste of that, like when Lennon and Miles were up at Jasmine's sister's house, and we had we just took cash out for an hour to get something to eat while you guys walked around
on 4th of July.
And I was telling Jasmine, like, holy shit, like, I could definitely be that shithead uncle where just, like, I give him everything he wants and send him back. Because, like, he was like, can I have a soda? I was like, sure, you can have a soda. Like, I don't even give my own kids soda. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, actually, I kind of, yeah, never mind. I get it.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to do because you just don't want to be the bad guy. I mean,
not only that, but it's just fun to be the fun one.
Oh, yeah, for sure, because then they definitely want to come back and hang out with you again.
Yeah.
And then it's just nothing but fun. I mean, that's kind of the reason I like having Silas just on the weekend, because I don't have to deal with any of his school shit during the week, and I just get to have fun with him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to change as he gets older, and he's going to have more, like, weekend homework and whatnot, but he doesn't have any homework right now.
Yeah.
Like, his homework is, Monday through Friday, and it's mostly just reading. So, I mean, I still work with him and shit on the weekend with writing and reading, which I'm really surprised. He's really doing well for being a kindergartner. Or I don't know if they're supposed to be learning this shit as it is. I don't know. I don't know what I knew in kindergarten. But he's already learning. He already writes a lot of words by himself.
That's good.
The only frustrating thing is getting him to do the work because he wants to do it for. He wants you to do it for him. He's like, Daddy, how do you spell this word? I'm like, sound it out and tell me how you think it's spelled.
Yeah, I'm excited for Lennon to get in school.
It's cool because he likes it right now. I'm curious at what age they start like disliking school.
I think it just depends on the person because it's like, Jasmine's sister, like the youngest, Karina, she's like 9 or 10, and she still like loves school. Jasmine's saying like she's such a bookworm, like she's reading books every single night. So I think it just depends on the kid also, what they find stimulating. You know what I mean? Some kids find TV, some kids find books.
Well, I wonder how much of it is the parents too, because Mom never gave a fuck about school.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing she wanted us to do was graduate, and the only reason she wanted us to graduate is because she didn't graduate.
Yeah.
Other than that, and it's not like Dad ever cared about what we did in school. I mean, if we did, as long as we did good, he was just like, all right, whatever.
I was actually talking to Trevor about this also, dude. It's funny to me, like, thinking about, like, not getting to that, like, tired parent stage. Because, like, I remember coming home several times always being, like, drunk or high, and, like, Dad couldn't tell or Mom couldn't tell. And I just think, like, that's, like, not actually, like, taking the time to actually, like, really talk to your kid every day. Because if you talk to your kid and looked them in the eyes and actually had a conversation with them, I'd be able to tell right away you're stoned. I don't care how much clear eyes you put in. So it's like all the times I think, out of the 4 years of high school that I, maybe got caught twice coming home stoned when I was stoned actually every day.
Well, trip out on this. I had a friend in school. Okay, he wasn't really my friend. He was an acquaintance because everybody thought he was fucking weird. His mom would let him smoke weed as long as he had straight A's. And he had straight A's.
See, like, even that kind of shit, that only works with certain kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But it tripped me out because it was like, he pretty much was able to do whatever he wanted, but he did amazing in school.
Well, I remember, like, the same kind of, like, I mean, not that crazy, but it's like Bobby, his dad, as long as he stayed in 3 sports every year and got good grades, his dad would buy him, like, something big at the end of the year.
Well, that's if you have parents have money, though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that's
a really good incentive.
Yeah.
That's how it was like our uncle did for his daughters. They he literally told them, if you graduate with honors, I'll buy you whatever car you want.
Which uncle did that?
Johnny.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
I'm so used to that sound now.
The offer up?
Yeah.
Yeah, but now though it's like offer up's becoming like fucking like spam almost. They're constantly sending you, ooh, did you check out today's deals? It's like, but they do that shit all the time now.
I get those like once a week.
No, how long? Yeah, but I think the longer you're on, the more they send that kind of shit.
I've had OfferUp. I've had an account with OfferUp for over a year. Well, the last 2 months I've been on OfferUp every day. It pisses me off because the days I don't go on OfferUp is when I miss out on a really good deal. Like
you go on a show sold right away.
There's when we were out in the desert last Saturday night, I got on OfferUp, and right in the middle of the day, someone posted a Coolster quad on there for $150, and I probably easily could have. The way they posted the ad, I would have offered $100. Probably would have got it because they said the only thing wrong with it was it had a flat tire and needed a new battery. And flat tire probably just replaced a tube, which is $10, and a new battery is $20.
Do you remember being a kid and once you found out about fix a flat, it's like you never even fix a tube again, just.
Dude, I don't go to the desert without fix a flat. I'd fix a flat with us when we went to the desert. I mean, there's no reason. I
remember that. I always had one can when we got also, and like 4 fucking spark plugs.
No, granted, that fix a flat I took with us is from. I probably bought like 5 years ago.
When we're still going to the desert, yeah. Shit's amazing, dude.
I need some water. I got some in my car real quick. Definitely like a gangster with my baggy jeans and my belt hanging off like this.
It's an old school belt.
It's actually, look at Volcom.
Damn.
I bought this because I met up with Dad and Aunt Diana and Jesse at the beach because we were having breakfast out there, and I forgot to bring a belt with me. You know, when you wash your pants, they kind of shrink a little bit. So they felt fine. I just forgot to grab a belt on the way out the door, and by the time I got to the beach, they stretched back out like normal. So I had to buy a belt at the beach, and this was the cheapest one I could find. It was $20.
Hey, so you didn't watch any of the debates, huh?
I watched the second one, and I shouldn't have watched it. It was fucking pointless. They didn't say anything.
No, but besides being embarrassing for a country, how funny was it?
It wasn't even funny. It was just sad and annoying.
I don't know. I still found it pretty fucking funny.
Because all it was her trying to be a politician and make her points, which she's just up there being a politician, and him interrupting her and trying to make her look like shit, which it was just like both of them looked like pieces of shit to me.
The last one, actually, this third one was actually pretty decent, dude. They actually tackled some real shit for once.
All the comments I heard was that he did the same thing with constantly interrupt her.
No, he wasn't anywhere near like he was in the second one.
The second one pissed me off because it really felt like it was 3 people versus 1. Like, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump at all. I'm not a fan of Hillary Clinton at all. But it really felt like it was Hillary Clinton.
And the commentators,
the 2 commentators.
I forgot his name also.
Whatever, he's super popular. And then whoever the broad was, it really felt like it was the 3 of them versus him. And it was like this is bullshit. Like,
well, you could feel that chick. You could feel her animosity towards Donald Trump for sure.
I listened to 60. I don't watch 60 Minutes, but I listen to the podcast version, which they just take the audio of 60 Minutes and put it on the internet.
Yeah. So
I listen to that every week. And I was listening to it on the way up here, but it started to put Miles to sleep, so I switched to music. And they were talking about the last set of debates, and there was this female that she was a big part of the, not a big part of the Republican Party, but she's a Republican, a huge Republican, and like how she's not going to vote Republican this year because of Donald Trump, and the points that she was bringing up against him, I was like, that has nothing about him being a president. That's just him as a person. She's like, what's he going to do behind closed doors with women and with secretaries? I was like, what does that have to do with being the fucking president? You're not going to vote for him because you think he's a womanizer? You're telling me that not one of our presidents was a womanizer?
Yeah, but they're basing it on like what kind of person he is. Like, that's the type of person he is. That's what they're.
Which, I mean, is a part of the reason you're voting for the president, of who they are as a person. But I'm not interested in, because if you're thinking from a man's point of view, if you're famous or you're rich or whatever, you're going to be a womanizer. I mean, it's just that since Bill Clinton, social media has taken over, and if you're doing that kind of shit, you're going to get caught. I mean, look at Anthony Weiner.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's crazy now, especially with social media, on how much shit comes to the table when you're trying to run for president, how much shit they use against you. I know House of Cards is definitely,
an exaggerated version.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, you have a team out there trying to dig up dirt. I mean, that shit's legit.
You have hundreds and hundreds of people working on finding anything that you've done wrong to put it out there to make you look bad.
That video was great that they put out, the pussy one right before. Like, that hurt. I mean,
when I heard it, I was like, I don't care about this.
But as soon as that came out, though, a lot of the Republican Party started dropping them. Though it's crazy.
Well, I mean, but that's what's frustrating is, like, if you look at the situation he was in at the time, I mean, he wasn't trying to ever be a politician when this happened. I mean, he had an interviewer asking him something off mic, and the interviewer was doing it in a douchey way, and he wasn't trying to get anything out of him. It's just he was trying to be like Donald Trump's buddy. And then the weird part was when the interviewer asked Billy Bush when Billy Bush asked that female, like, "Oh, give him a hug" or whatever he said. It was like, all right, you're being a fucking creep.
Do you have a hug for the Donald? Do you have a hug for the Donald?
Yeah, that was like, the dude was being super creepy. And then, of course, because Donald Trump is included in the conversation, made him look creepy. It's like,
you know what is crazy though, dude? Hillary's gonna start us another war. Like, in the third one, she kept blaming everything on Putin, saying how Putin was, in charge of the cyber attacks on us, yada, yada, yada. And it's like nothing's been proven, but she keeps throwing this out there. It's because he's buddy-buddy with Donald. It's like, dude, you're saying all this fucking crazy shit on Russia. Like, I was irritated by it. I can only imagine that if I was fucking, Putin, I'd be like, fuck this cunt.
It's scary. We first off, like, why do we care about why are we so involved with Russia? I don't know what Russia has done to us, but it doesn't seem like they're trying to attack us anyway. When we have some certain conflicts with them, that's weird. Like, there's some certain conflicts in the north that we have with Russia over territory. Like, we're kind of in a standoff with them that nobody knows about. Some shit I watched on Vice. But I don't understand why they're going after Putin so hard. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why Hillary keeps saying Putin this, Putin that. It's like they're trying to start something with Russia, and I don't want to be a part of that. Like, I don't want to be a part of a war with Russia. Russia doesn't want to be a part of a war with us.
Yeah, it's crazy though. Like how bold that is for her to keep saying that during these debates, and like he didn't get mad. Like, I don't fucking know Putin. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know him like that. Like, you keep saying this, I don't know him like that. You keep saying that he's part of my party. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
What's frustrating about Hillary, though, is how she hasn't gotten in trouble for any of the shit that she's done. For instance, the FBI investigation that was done about her whole email scandal concluded that, they're not going to press any charges against her or anything. But they also won't come out with anything they found. They're not being transparent about the investigation. They're not saying anything about what they found.
I do like that part, though. When he's like, well, it's a good thing you're not... What she said, it's a good thing you're not something. He's like, yeah, that's because you'd be in jail.
He said, I forget what she said, but he's like, if I was president, you'd be in jail.
Yeah, she said, well, it's a good thing you're not president. He goes, yeah, because you'd be in jail. Something like that.
That was a really good comeback. Although a lot of people hated on him for saying that. I'm like, what? Like, he's not coming. I mean, granted, from what the definition of a demagogue that I've read, that's Trump pretty much. He's a demagogue. He's not going to be a good president, but I don't think Hillary will be a good president either. And the most frustrating thing is women that are backing Hillary. Like, this is the person who you want as the first female president. This is the person you want.
Yeah. Well, I was listening to a little highlight clip of Obama's farewell speech, and I don't know. I guess I kind of still found it crazy. Like, I understand Donald Trump's a fucking moron, but he was kind of bashing him in his speech. I felt that was a little tacky. I don't know. Even though, I mean, yeah, he's an idiot, but I mean, I still found it really tacky that this could still be the. Granted, Donald did to him, which is but still, it's like, at what point do you?
Well, Obama pretty much has to do that because he has to support the Democratic Party.
Yeah, and I still just on your farewell speech, though, you're gonna. I don't know.
Every president does that, though.
Hey, pause that.
Now, fuck politics. Let's get off this topic. I was just talking to Ryan about how Brittany, or when we went to the desert on Saturday, I was telling Brittany that she was asking me, how good of a rider am I? And I was like, well, actually, you looked really confident on your bike and everything. And she was saying that it had a lot to do with the motorcycle class that she took for the CHP safety course. And Ryan was saying, yeah, anybody could learn. And I was like, I think it's garbage that anybody, it doesn't matter how long you've been riding, if you've never taken that class, it's garbage to say that you can't learn something from it.
But that's a lot of people. A lot of times people go in there not being open-minded and thinking I already know everything that they're going to teach me. Because I could have done that and easily said, I didn't walk away with anything, but I was definitely wanting to learn just because I had kids. If there was some key, some pointers I could have got out of that class, I was definitely want to take it.
Well, I think it's funny about when you were saying that the guy, the douchebag that was in the class you took. It's who rode his bike to the class, and they tell you explicitly not to do that.
Yeah.
Well, you paid for this class. Why don't you sit down and see if there's something to gain out of it, because you did pay a lot of money to be here. It's not cheap to take the class.
Well, what's funny about that guy who's being cocky in the class, who rode his bike, kept talking over the teacher, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, because when I ride my bike, he just wanted to brag that he was riding compared to everybody else, and he's the only guy that didn't pass the written test at the end of class. So I found that hilarious.
It's the inability to listen, because if he had just listened.
Yep. So I'm saying, he went in there with the the mindset, oh, you're not going to teach me anything.
I already know. Yeah, I already know about that. I already know.
I'm definitely kind of like that to an extent, but not in a class, but if I'm stubborn in the fact if I already know something and someone's there like, hey man, you mind if I show you a few things? I'm like, nope.
Yeah, it's really hard to shut my ego down sometimes like that in those situations where it's like, yeah, dude, all right, yeah, cool. What are you going to show me right now?
Yeah. Well, I think because I would never approach anybody like that. So it's like when I got someone doing that, and like, granted, some people really just want to like teach you something, but I guess, yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm just fucking, yeah, my ego is definitely huge when it comes to that kind of shit.
Well, you're the only person I have to approach with caution when I try to show you something. Yeah. But that's because of how we grew up.
Yeah.
Our relationship. But that's not just recent. That's just from years past.
Yeah.
It was like putting the bunk beds together when I was like, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but... And then Brett's like, you just told him what to do. And I'm like, no, but I have to... He's not going to listen if I come at him with the wrong tone.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I'm like that so much with you. I don't know if it's because you fucked with me so much.
It's because of our history.
Yeah, but I don't think it's just because you fucked with me. I think from you talking to me for so long when we were kids, like I was an idiot anytime I was trying to do something.
That's what I mean. It's our history. It's explicitly our history because of the way I treated you or the way I talked to you or how I come off or how I came off when we were younger. Because now if I really am like, hey, no, like you're going to do it wrong if you don't listen to me right now. Like I really have to say it a certain way, otherwise you're going to blow it off.
Well, and a lot of times also, like, even though I'm totally aware of your monotone, but like sometimes the way you'll come off, people think that you're trying to be a smartass. So if somebody else laughs at you trying to tell me something, then I'm like fucking heated at you.
Well, it's like at work when I'm training somebody, like I tell them, like, look, if I'm coming off condescending or in a certain tone, just know that I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what gets me, because it's like if I'm already embarrassed that I'm being showed something, and then it's like if someone laughs at me also, then I feel stupid, and then I get really upset.
What's funny is you don't get mad about the R word anymore.
Yeah, no. But I don't know. I don't like feeling humiliated if someone has to show me something. It gets me upset.
Yeah, I know how that feels. Not as bad as you, but I mean, it's just not as bad. Not that I don't get as mad as you get in those situations.
Yeah. It's crazy though too. Like when I talk to, like when I tell Jazz and stuff, like childhood stories with us, and she's like, "Oh my God, Jeremy's so mean. I don't understand how you guys ever got so close."
Something about the Army.
Yeah.
The Army did have some good benefits.
I don't get that. Like, what made you want to be close to me when you got back from the Army?
I think it was being away. That was 4 months that I was gone.
Yeah, because that was kind of weird when you got back. All of a sudden, we started hanging out.
Well, it was, like I said, I think it was just being away, and then because I mean, hell, when were we apart as kids?
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden I was gone for 4 months. I remember before I left, it was like, yeah, I'll be gone for 4 months, big deal. Which I mean, I think it was closer to 5 that I was gone because I got stuck in a holdover when I first got there. I didn't even start training until like 4 weeks after I got to, 4 weeks till after from 4. Fucking, I've been stuttering way too much lately, but
I've been pretty good on it, dude.
It was like about 3 or 4 weeks after I got shipped out for the Army is when I started my training, because there's during the summer there's a surge of National Guard and Reserve trainees, and they take priority because their units pay for them to be there. Compared to me, I was going to be regular. I was going to be active duty, so it doesn't matter if I get trained now or a month from now. I'm going to be in the Army. So, but the Reserve and National Guard, they're paid while they're there. So they want them to hurry up and get trained and get back, so that way their unit's not paying for them to be there. Because it costs the unit a lot of money to train the soldier. Anywho.
Where did we leave off?
I don't know. We're talking about something.
Yeah.
I probably could just rewind and figure it out, but I'm not going to.
It was our childhood. I don't remember, though. Anyway, sum it up. Yeah, you're a dickhead.
Well, the Army changed me.
Now I'm a changed man.
Well, joining the Army changed me, and then Iraq changed me.
You know what I will say, though, dude, about, like, you're drinking. The only time you'd ever say something nice is when you're drinking. Which is, like the only time you'd pour your feelings out. So it's kind of weird now that you're not drinking. You've actually learned how to share those feelings without having to get hammered to do so.
A lot of it, honestly, had to do with listening to podcasts.
Really?
Listening to other guys willing to say nice things to other people. It was really weird, especially Joe Rogan. Because Joe Rogan, he says he loves everybody.
Yeah.
On the podcast, he tells his friends, like, all right, bro, see you later, I love you. Like, Joe even talks about that his wife thinks it's weird that he tells his friends he loves them when he hangs up the phone with them.
Well, dude, I've done that shit since high school, and you remember you used to make fun all the time, you fucking fag. Dude, even like to Charlie and Trevor, dude, forever, I always done that. Love you, man. And I always like, come on, dude, tell me you love me. You don't want to hang up with me and without saying I love you. What if something happens to me? Like, dude, later, dude. So I've done that. The only reason I use that line is, what if something happens to me? Because I remember Mima, our crazy grandma, used to tell me that. She's like, what if something happens and you didn't, the last words were you just say, okay, bye. So I would just use that corny line, like, what if something happens to me, dude? Just tell me you love me. I'll do that to my employees, too.
You're so needy.
I know. I'll tell fucking George and, like, Daniel and them, like, dude, I love you, man. Like, okay, they get all awkward. Well, just tell me you love me.
It's so funny. I found this little pick holder, guitar pick. It was a little leather case holder. And I was like, it reminded me of Little George. I need to stop calling him Little George.
What is it? A what?
Guitar picks?
Yeah.
There's a little holder, like a little leather case, a little holder. I handed to him, I was like, here, I found this. And it made me think of you, so I thought I'd give it to you. He's like, what?
Pick holder?
Pick.
Oh, pick holder, sorry.
Pick.
Yeah, for your guitar, sorry.
He got awkward at first. I was like, no, dude, I found it. I didn't buy it for you. I found it. And he's like, because he looked at it weird. I was like, open it up. I was like, holds picks. And he's like, oh. It got all weird at first. And I was like, dude. I know I'm cut off, but damn.
That's funny. See, I've never had any issues with that, like, giving other guys presents or being like, or like displaying my feelings towards another guy. Like, I've never found that being gay. Like, dude, forever I've always told you, I love you, bro, and then you'll hang up on me.
I never thought it was gay. I just always found it weird because I never knew how to, like, be open. And then fucking, on top of listening to podcasts, what also helped was fucking smoking a lot of weed. It really makes you think about things.
It helps you get a little more emotional also.
Not emotional, because I always felt...
I'm just saying in touch with your feelings.
Not even in touch. I felt like I wanted to be more open. Not like... I never really felt more in touch with my feelings. Just wanted to be more open. The more open, more honest.
It's like Mike's truth serum?
Yeah. I was talking to Brittany the other day, yesterday, I think it was yesterday maybe, about... She's like, well, are you going to start smoking weed again? I'm like, I don't know, because like I told, same thing I told you in the car on the way home from the desert. Like, am I going to go back to making it? Because am I going to go back to smoking 24/7? Because I'm kind of like all in or not, or all out. Like, I never really know how to like just I'll just do it every now and then.
Dabble in something, yeah.
So do I want? Because it's been 2 months now that I haven't smoked weed. So do I want to start smoking weed again? It's like, yeah, there's times where it's like, it'd be really nice just to relax and fucking smoke a bowl.
Yeah.
But is that going to turn into like, oh, yeah, I can smoke a bowl now? Because what happened before is I was smoking only certain times. Then it's like, oh, well, I can control myself doing this. I'll just can you do more and more and more. And it's like, once you get really used to smoking, you could do everything high. And that's where it became a problem, because I was spending about $400 a month on it.
That's crazy.
And now that I'm not spending $400 a month, and I'm like, oh, I could buy this, I could buy this.
Was it because you were buying so many edibles? Because I don't remember even seeing you smoke that much.
Well, this is the thing is, like, I smoke a lot during the week. Because my favorite thing to do was when I'd get home from work, I would just get obliterated and either watch TV or edit the podcast. And then I'd wake up in the morning and smoke more. I mean, I would smoke bowls all the way up until an hour before I left for work. And then, the only reason I stopped an hour before I went to work is because that would let me level off. And then I can go into work. Because as long as I was at home, I could never really tell how high I was. I always felt okay. But as soon as you step outside, it's like you're changing your environment. That's when it really hits you. And it's like, oh, shit, I'm fucking blasted right now.
Yeah.
But letting me cut it off like when I'd cut it off like an hour before, it'd let me level off, and I wouldn't feel so weird walking out the door. And I can go into work and feel normal. And as soon as the bosses left, I'd start smoking bowls again at work. And then for whatever reason, smoking bowls at work made me really hate my job.
So was it just because you got so relaxed you just wanted to go home?
I don't know. I just fucking didn't want to be there. I just wanted to go home and, like, I started thinking about all the shit that I wanted to do at the house, or like little projects I wanted to work on, and I just it'd make me not want to be at work.
Was it just like you'd start getting antsy?
Yeah, it'd make me really anxious. I think it was more of that, like, when you're at work, you're not doing anything for yourself. Like, the only thing you're doing there is doing whatever you need to do to, like, make money.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, how much of this is for me? This isn't benefiting me at all. The only reason it benefits me is because I take home a paycheck.
Yeah. So did you just feel like more like a number when you're high? Is that what you're like, trying to get at?
I don't know. I really don't know what it was that made me hate my job. I really had to make an effort to change my mindset and think positively about work, because my job is, because I've been doing it for so long, it's pretty fucking easy. Like, I don't really have much to complain about.
Yeah.
Other than it's just like a lot of times it sucks because I have to get everything done before I go home. Which, I mean, if something goes wrong and things don't go exactly right, I may be working like an hour or two late, which is all fine and dandy because some people go, oh, well, it's overtime. Well, I mean, it's cool to work overtime like when you get off in the afternoon, because it's just a couple more hours in the afternoon. But when you're going in the afternoon, I've already done a bunch of shit before I went to work. So there's some days where if I'm working on something, I felt like I've already done an 8-hour day.
Yeah.
And I go into work at 3 and work another 8 hours. And by the time I get off, I'm mentally exhausted. My body's still fine, but I'm just mentally drained. And if I have to work till like 1 or 2 in the morning, like, I just want to fucking shoot somebody, because it's like I'm ready to go to bed. And then fucking working those extra couple hours. And not to mention, when you really start paying attention to how much the government robs you of that overtime, because you're not paying, because right now we pay like 27% of your check goes to the government. Well, when it's overtime, it's like 50% that goes to the government. It's like, well, why am I working all that extra time and killing myself for the government to take so much of it?
I remember one of my old jobs, one of the older cats was saying that, like, the reason why, even though he knows his paycheck's getting robbed, he likes having what he makes annually on paper just so he gets qualified, for just basically to throw more shit on credit. Oh, that's the dumbest fucking thing I ever heard. I mean, I you know what I mean? Like you're saying that you fucking, like, your money, you realize your money's being shot, but you basically want to get more in debt.
You're making less money
to put yourself in more debt.
To put more in debt. Like, you're technically making more money, but the government's taking more of it from you because you're making more, and you're doing it all because you want to create more debt for yourself.
Yep. Like, you want to get approved for more shit.
Now, which part of this makes sense?
Yeah, nothing. But I remember as a kid, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Because you start thinking that, as a kid, you're like, okay, so, like, the way he explained it to me was, like, yeah, you need to, you need to show on your net, a large sum so you get approved for a house loan. It's like, no, it's not. I mean, yeah, to an extent that's how it works, but not really.
Well, that's exactly how it works, but qualifying for more does not benefit you because that's a higher payment.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to get at. And now after, like, going through the process of buying, it's like, oh wow, that guy was an idiot.
I'd like to buy a house, but I don't know if we're ever going to. Brittany's really wanting to, but I don't.
How this fucking market is crazy, dude.
I'd be down if, like, if we could all move out of state or something and find good jobs and live properly instead of this Southern California life.
Dude, well, Jasmine watches all these shows in Texas. I forget what part it's in, but these houses are just fucking amazing. For like $124,000. I mean, those payments would be fucking nothing. I mean, I don't know what property taxes are like in Texas and shit, but it's a fuck ton better than California.
Yeah. I just don't understand the cost of living. I mean, I guess it's because San Diego is where a lot of people want to live. But even when you hit the outskirts of San Diego, where people don't necessarily want to be, but that's where it's affordable,
yeah,
it's still expensive.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy to think, like, I mean, Temecula, 15 years ago, the prices were, more than cut in half up here.
It's really inexpensive up here. When you guys were looking, you were telling me prices. It didn't even, I didn't know it was that high.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, like, a lot of your friends are, like, a lot of your friends think that, like, you must make great money or something, and you're like, no, I made a really good decision when I bought.
Yeah.
And it was all luck.
Yep.
And then because of that, I had a nice down payment for this house.
Yep. All timing.
It's weird, too, when you look into, like,
the market, I mean, buying a house, dude, is all about luck, dude, if you're buying at the right time. Everyone's sitting there like, oh, it's all about reading the graphs. Like, yeah, right. No one fucking knows, dude.
No, I mean, if you see a downtrend and you're like, if it's way less than it was, at the same time or, a year before, then yeah, you might want to buy.
Well, it's like the whole Brexit thing. No one saw that coming, and that fucking just boosted the market even more.
I don't know anything about Brexit other than like, you know, maybe like I could see how the Brits would want to be independent. I could totally see that, get out of the European Union, especially when, you know, you had countries like Spain where they're fucking bankrupt as shit, and they're a part of the union, so the rest of the union has to help them suck it up. It's like, well, like I didn't know our economy didn't collapse. Why am I responsible for this?
Yeah.
But there's a lot about Brexit I don't know. I just didn't read into it because, well, it's not America, so.
Still affected us, though.
It affected us because of emotions. Like, the stock market is affected by emotions. It's amazing.
Right. That would be a crazy job, dude.
Be a stockbroker?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Talk about risking your fucking paycheck every month.
Well,
you're gambling. That's a gambling job.
if you're a stockbroker that works for a company that does stockbroking, I mean, you're not really risking your paycheck. You get a salary, and you just have to make good decisions. And if you make enough bad decisions, you'll get fired. But other than that, like, you have a fat salary and you keep doing your job.
I still don't understand when they're sitting there hollering, you know, be like in the movies. Like, I don't know how realistic that is, but like, you know, there's a guy sitting there, like, you know, pointing, you know, marking shit down. Like, I want to know how realistic that is, because if that is, like, I would love to be on the floor and just watch the chaos.
I've heard people talk about it, and they say it's just like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, I would love to watch it. I don't get it. I don't understand what they're hollering out, like how they're keeping track of people, and it's just
watch it like on Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where they're sitting there in like a lounge watching down on the stock market floor.
Oh yeah. You remember that Tim Allen movie where he goes to the jungle?
Yeah.
Jungle
to Jungle?
Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to love that movie as a kid. But yeah, like that's how I picture it. I mean, exactly like the stock market.
From what I've heard is just like that.
Well, I mean, all the movies fucking simulate that, but then at the same time, though, all movies simulate the fucking CIA as some like crazy fucking, you know, top secret building. You got fucking screens everywhere. And then you actually got CIA guys like, dude, it's like the most boring office setting you've ever seen.
But it's hard for me to like imagine that there isn't some sort of black operation going on with CIA to where, like, you know, if you are a part of the CIA, you might not ever know that certain things exist in the CIA.
Yeah,
because there probably is a lot of boring shit that happens in the CIA where you work an office job and they're crunching data or something. And there's also, I picture there's a special agent side of CIA where they
where it looks like Born Supremacy, where they're fucking.
See, I think the Bourne stuff is a little far fetched. I don't think that shit exists. But more along the lines of, like, you know, special operations where they're doing shit that they're never going to be able to talk about. Like, I even think like the Mission Impossible stuff. None of that. I don't believe any of that ever happens.
Yeah.
Although I love those fucking movies. I don't care how cheesy they are. Tom Cruise is amazing.
You don't care how crazy he is.
Nope. The crazier he gets, the better of an actor he is.
Yeah.
Scientology and all.
What did he say? One of them was acting is harder, or he said something. He compared it to the military life. Acting is straining his military. I forget what his quote was, but Mark Wahlberg got on screen and made fun of him. It was basically like, "You're fucking an idiot." Like, actually, no, it's not. We're fucking actors. It's nothing like the real life. But yeah, he was just saying that it's as dangerous, as stressful as like, you know, being. It was something ridiculous. I don't remember the exact phrase he used, but it was something retarded.
I've heard more than just Mark Wahlberg or whoever make fun of Tom Cruise. I've heard several people make fun of Tom Cruise for the comments he made about acting being hard. Like Joe Rogan talks about all the time. Like, acting is the easiest job I ever did. Like, it's you're faking it. All you're doing is being fake. And then Brian Callen talks about it too, like, because he's an actor. He's like, acting's easy. He's like, the hardest part is like being on set for 14 hours a day.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's easy.
No, it's not like the piece of cake thing, but I mean, it's not. If you talk to a real actor, they're like, yeah, this isn't. We're living the dream. This isn't a hard job.
It's crazy though, like when you think you can act, and then you actually see like a good actor. Like when I was in acting class, there's a few people that were like, oh shit, like, oh okay, like, yeah, this is what it takes to be an actor.
You have to be like a free spirit and let go of embarrassment and shame, and
not only just that though, but like if you can be totally invested into a role, like that's the hard part of actually like
believing in yourself and in the role you're doing.
Well, they talk about like Heath Ledger, like when he ended up like killing himself. I said because he got so dark into being the Joker, like he became like I don't like I said I know you're looking like that, but that's what people talked about. People talked about like he invested himself so much into that role of being that like bad guy that like they think that he started believing that. But I think people do get that invested.
Well, I think he was really invested in that role, and he did an amazing job of being Joker. But I don't think it had anything to do with why he died. I mean, he didn't kill himself either. I mean, he overdosed.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think that people buy into their roles too much and start believing that character.
How about Daniel Day-Lewis? That's a bad motherfucker right there.
Who's that?
The butcher from Gangs of New York.
Oh yeah.
Every role he's ever done, he like when he played. I never saw the movie when he played Lincoln in whatever Lincoln movie that came out. Mm-hmm. Other actors on the set were annoyed with him because when he does a role, he is that role 24. He's that character 24/7, no matter what. When he's filming,
so just talking to him, he keeps doing the accent and everything. So
during Lincoln, like other actors were getting annoyed with him because he never stopped being Lincoln. He talked like that 24/7, and he expected people around him to talk to him as if he was Lincoln.
It's pretty funny. So, hey, it makes it feel like you buy into your role though.
But Daniel Day-Lewis is a badass actor, so
I trip out on the guys that weren't even like studying to be an actor. Like you got Will Smith, who just kind of got his TV show and then branched from there and just is an amazing actor. Like same with Mark Wahlberg. Marky Mark. He's on
that Disney show.
Rapper. What?
He was on that Disney show.
But he started out being a rapper first, right?
I don't remember.
That's how he was known as Marky Mark.
Yeah, but before that he was on that old Disney show. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I know what you're saying. But what's funny about Will Smith, though, is on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Mickey Mouse Club?
Yeah, that one.
Really? He was on that?
I believe so.
I know Justin Timberlake was on that.
Yeah, and so was Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera.
Yeah,
and,
I don't know.
But Wahlberg. He would have been on there before them. I'm pretty sure. No, he wasn't on that. He was on the... Oh, because his little group was Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch or something?
Yeah, I don't think he was on
I'm talking beyond what I really know right now.
Yeah, so. I don't think he was on the Mickey Mouse Club.
I'm willing to admit that I might be 100% wrong in everything I just said. But when Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was on, like, Will Smith, I thought his acting was pretty terrible on that show. But when he does movies, he's amazing. Like, I'll watch every Will Smith movie that comes out. But
I think it was kind of cheesy because it was, like... The show was great, but it was still kind of a cheesy show. So it was like he was able to... and those shows are, pumped out pretty fast, what I heard. So it's not like you get to,
Yeah, but it's not like movies take you're not spending a ton of time filming a movie either.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel like maybe, I don't know, maybe he got older and got better.
I don't know, but he played a really goofball, cheesy character on that show also, so... But, thinking about the hard scenes that he had to do on that show, with the crying and stuff, I mean, I think the acting came out. How the fuck are we talking about actors right now? How did we start from that?
Because you started bringing it up. Because acting's a really hard job.
Yeah. That was a weird conversation jump from politics to acting.
Politics is acting.
Yeah. Hey, how much... Because I always go back to House of Cards because that's all I can really relate to politics. But how much of paper do you think... Because all their speeches, they don't write any of it from what I read and heard.
No, but you'd be stupid to not read it before you go and speech it or go out and say it.
But I'm saying the majority of people, when they listen to speeches, though, they're fully invested these are all Barack Obama's words.
Oh, then they're fucking morons. No, I mean, to think that anybody's out there writing their own speeches, that is that high up. I mean, to imagine that Obama even has the time to write a speech.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely approving it. Like, he's going to read it before he goes out there and says it, and he's probably going to change a few words here and there to make it more of what he wants to say. But he doesn't have time to write a speech. That's why he has all his little aides.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube where they're going around like the Hillary fans claiming so you do agree with Hillary on this, but it's actually Donald Trump's saying, and they're like, yeah, I totally agree with that. And what if I told you that Donald Trump said that?
I'm so sick of fucking Aurelio reposting the same fucking Donald Trump video on Facebook. It's a video I've seen several times now. Well, I've watched it once, but I keep seeing it pop up of asking Trump fans it was on the Daily Show, and they found the dumbest Trump fans possible and made this video. But if you just go on YouTube and Google shit about, or YouTube shit about Hillary, it's all the same shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that shit is funny when they give the Donald Trump quotes to Hillary, like, oh yeah, and they're trying to come up with a reason on why they agree with it because it's Hillary. And it's like, well, what if I told you that was Donald Trump? They're like, ah.
Both sides do.
It's this election's getting really hard to talk to Aurelio. I hope he listens to this because he's so close-minded on seeing another point of view. He just sees the Democratic point of view, and I get that's his party, but I mean, there's no way I could ever endorse Hillary. I mean, I endorse Hillary about as much as I endorse Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Which is none. Can't endorse either one. One thing I don't understand, and I will not understand, is how the Democrats I keep hearing the same phrase over and over again. A vote for third party is the same thing as voting for Trump.
I never even heard that.
And all I can think of it that they're saying is like, well, if you're not voting for Hillary, then you're voting for Trump. It's like, well, so you're telling me that everybody that's not voting is voting for Trump? Like, you're just mad because you just want as many votes as possible, so you're trying to come up with a clever way of saying vote for Hillary.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I think it's more embarrassing than anything. Watching the people in the UK talk about
Dude, watching
politics.
Any foreigner talk about our politics makes me embarrassed for the United States. Australians make fun of our politicians. Brits do, and it's not like everybody makes fun of everybody's politics. But when you hear why they make fun of it, it's like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
What time do you have to get going?
Like 2:30.
Okay. No, see, we're only at an hour 20. I feel like we were talking for almost 2 hours already.
Oh no, I don't feel like we've talked that much at all. I don't know. That's why right now I'm just ignoring shit, and I haven't even read through the booklet I got about, because you're not voting for just president, you're voting for all these propositions and everything, and I haven't even opened it up to read it because I've been so disgusted with the politicians.
What do you think with the legalization of marijuana this year?
It has a good chance of passing, but I don't think it will.
There's a bunch of retarded articles I've been seeing on Facebook about pot, about how many people are driving under the influence of marijuana and killing people each year, and it was just the retarded stats that people are going on there that are pro marijuana advocates and disproving everything that they're saying. But it's they put out all these fake articles.
Well, it's not even fake, because I guarantee you that those numbers are correct. But the one thing they're leaving out was there alcohol in that person's system too. That's what they were disproving. And I remember an ad from when I was a kid. It was this little kid at a tree, and there's a little memorial at a tree, and it was a commercial, and it was like, Timmy's older brother would still be alive if he wasn't driving under the influence of marijuana. And it's like, well, but you totally failed to mention that what else was in his system. Yeah, because marijuana, I've driven high more times than I could ever count, and I drive safer and pay more attention when I'm high than I do when I'm sober. And when you're drinking, you just lose your depth perception. And when you smoke weed, you do not lose your depth perception.
I think a lot of it too, though, when you're drinking, you get a little more aggressive when you're driving.
You're way more aggressive. Because
I remember all my stick vehicles, my manuals. Anytime I was drinking, I was trying to burn rubber.
I don't know, man. I'm just sick of people. Oh, it's so crazy. There's a major painkiller. It's a really dangerous painkiller, and the company that makes it gave $500,000 to an anti-marijuana campaign in Arizona. It's like, why is it this giant pharmaceutical company that makes this crazy painkiller giving $500,000 to an anti-marijuana campaign?
I think that's when you know that evil exists, when you start looking at the pharmaceutical companies out there.
It's crazy when you start looking at the real statistics about marijuana. Alcohol is such a worse drug, and I don't think there's a real problem with alcohol being legal. I mean, I don't think you should be driving on it, and that's hypocritical of me to say, because I drank and drove several times. But I mean, well, that also goes back to me feeling more like a libertarian, because I don't think any drug should be illegal.
I'm always a little curious on that. I understand the war on drugs, but do you believe in those safe havens, for heroin addicts?
Yeah. If you look at, there's heroin clinics in places like Switzerland that have actually helped, not only, so there's this place in Switzerland where it's a heroin clinic where you can go in and they give you your dose of heroin. They give you. It's done by
Canada too, right?
I don't know.
I watched a documentary. I think it was Canada recently.
In Canada, they have places where you can go to safely shoot up, where you get a clean needle. You have you have professionals there on site in case you overdose or something, and they've never had anybody die in those places from overdose because they get.
It just seems a little absurd though that you're going to be supplying people with a drug.
The ones in Canada don't supply the drug. They supply the means and then medical care if need be. And it's all done by volunteers. Now in Switzerland, they have a straight up heroin clinic that you can go to and get your daily dose of heroin, where they only administer so much. You're only allowed to get so much, and by doing that, it's actually helped people quit doing heroin. Where people have just gotten to the point where they're like, oh, I don't want to do it anymore. And not to mention, there's studies that have shown for some people it actually benefits them to have a daily dose of heroin. The reason people get addicted and overdose is because they take too much.
I always trip out off like artists. How you always have like the best artists, and they've always done heroin. Like all like the great like really good singers and fucking painters and shit. They're all like heroin addicts.
Dr. Drew said that he thinks that the new generation of not new generation, but a certain generation of artists has that addict gene. Dr. Drew's also, as much people hate on him for him hating on drugs, he doesn't believe in good or bad drugs. He thinks it's absurd that our country has a difference between good and bad drugs. And he finds it frustrating that some drugs are illegal, even for a doctor to prescribe, because all he has to work with as a doctor is,
what's legal?
Drugs to prescribe to somebody. So it's like, well, why the fact that we have a variation between good and bad is ridiculous. He's like, because in a certain situation, it's really bad for me to prescribe, Percocet to somebody, even though that might help relieve the pain. It's going to be really bad for that person. So he's like, the fact that we can call Percocet good or bad is ridiculous, and the fact that it's considered a good drug because it's illegal doesn't make any sense. There should be no such thing as good or bad drugs. Just drugs.
The older I'm getting, dude, the more I'm 100% guaranteed that there's no such thing as ADHD and ADD now, just because I think it's just some people are more hyper than other, and because now that I've gotten older, I keep getting more calmer and calmer, and I'm just realizing I have my hyper spout sometimes, but I'm realizing that the hyper stage that I get in after really really paying attention to it, it's just pure energy. It has nothing to do with I struggle with paying attention, but I think that just has to do with being so hyper, and I think some people are just more hyper than others. And so now that I've gotten older, I would say in the last few months, I've really started paying attention to that, the whole ADHD thing. I really don't buy into that anymore.
I don't know, because if you felt anything like I felt the first time I took Adderall, I could not focus on anything. I couldn't control it. There was no control in it.
Yeah, I know, but I think that's just I feel like that's a big part of just being extremely hyper. I don't feel like.
But that's why ADD is called attention deficit disorder. You have a lack of attention.
Yeah, no, but I think that's just, it's so vague. I feel like anybody can kind of fall into that.
That's the argument against ADD, is that it's overdiagnosed.
Yeah,
which it is
100%. And then no matter how much I struggle with being so fucking hyper as a kid, I would never ever put Landon or Miles on a fucking medication.
Well, not after the side effects that you had from it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like it's such a vague term. I don't know. Now that I'm older, I don't really.
I think there's many different avenues to help control something, and it's a shame that a lot of Western doctors don't look at a lot of natural herbs and stuff as helping. There's a lot of natural things out there that could also help. It doesn't have to be something made by a pharmaceutical company.
Well, and then too, I look at things like this. When I was in Options for Youth in high school, I started working out, and I would get up early in the morning before I have to go to. You don't have to go twice a week to get your packets. But I remember being in that classroom for that hour in that setting was way worse than being in school for fucking 8 hours, because for some reason Options for Youth setting was just a really weird setup. You had a bunch of kids, all different tables, and you couldn't pay attention to shit because there was so much going on.
And you didn't know anybody either.
So I felt when I would work out in the morning, I felt I was a little more, not just a little more focused, but I was able to stay in my seat. I wasn't so antsy throughout that hour. So I feel there's several things you can do for your kid. it's kind of militant, to kind of fucking wake your kid up and like, hey, we're going to go for a run so you can fucking focus in school. But, hey, what needs to be done needs to be done. Like, there's other avenues what I'm trying to get at. Like, maybe that might seem a little absurd to somebody, like waking your kid up and taking them for a run, before school. But, hey, it's fucking better than putting them on medication.
Well, there's days where I could totally see Silas being diagnosed with ADD. And it's just him based. And it's like, I'm trying to talk him, like, dude, you really need to calm down right now. Like, you can't be acting like this for whatever the situation is. And he's like, but Dad, I can't. I have so much energy. And it's like, I totally get it. And if he were to go to the doctor when he was feeling like that, he would 100% get diagnosed with ADD.
Yeah.
And those are the days when, like, I end up wearing myself out and running myself into the ground trying to get him to burn off energy.
Dude, I'll never forget this. So when I was a kid, when I was diagnosed, I had to constantly go back, like, for every 2-3 months and go through an evaluation. And one of the evaluations was they put you. It was the weirdest thing, dude. It was like straight out of a movie. They put you in like this vault room. It's almost like a vault door and everything. Like, it was like a vault room with like an observation glass.
Yeah, that's not going to cause anxiety,
dude. So you sit in this room, right? And Mom and the doctor were in the. It was almost like an interview room, like in a police station. So they're in this room. I can't see them. And over the loudspeaker, he asked me questions, and I have a buzzer. But I'm in the room. Nothing's going on. But I'm in like a fucking like an interview room. So when they're asking me questions, and like I could not pay attention for the life of me so it was like a test. Mom was saying. So they first put me in there. They were going to see what I was going to do for the first 10 minutes. So I started acting like I was on a game show. I was like, "What do we have for him, Bob?" And I pressed the button. And Mom was saying that it was like so fucking embarrassing for her. Like, the doctors are watching me, and I couldn't even sit still for the 10 minutes I was in there. But it's like, dude, you're a fucking kid who's hyper as fuck, and then like, I don't know. So basically, how they diagnose you is like, you can't fucking go through questions longer than 5 minutes without just like, can you repeat it again? And you're just totally just fucking checked out. But like, I don't know, dude. I just the testing for it's just retarded.
It sounds like, well, just how could that not cause someone anxiety? And then if you have more energy on a daily basis than the next kid, your anxiety is going to go through the roof being in a situation like that. You don't know why you're there. You know that your parents think there's something wrong with you, which has to suck. And you're being put in this really, really uncomfortable environment.
Well, dude, like, all right, so like I've had friends that have known I've been diagnosed that have asked me, hey, how could I fake them out? And we know one of them. I'm not going to name names, but like, I've basically told them you can go and get diagnosed for ADHD and get fucking medication. And now they're on medication, and it's like, they're like basically addicted to it. And I'm like, fuck, was that my fault that I told them how to fucking, you know what I mean?
Well, they were addicted to it before.
But it's like, for me, I don't know how the medication feels. So it's like, all right, whatever. Like, so you're in college, so it makes you study harder. Okay, well.
I personally don't know how, after, I took it for a really, really long time and almost on a daily basis. I don't know how people get addicted to it because I never liked the way it felt. Like, if I had a day where I didn't need it, I wouldn't take it because I preferred to not be on it because I didn't like the way it made me, the side effects I got from it.
But a lot of people use it for like party shit. You were using it to survive. I mean, you're working 2 jobs full time.
No, but I've used it to fucking party, and I don't like that either.
Yeah, but I'm saying the reason you started taking it though was work based.
Well, yeah, but no, what I'm saying is I don't understand how people get addicted because I like as soon as I can stop taking it, I stopped taking it. And even the last time I got it from you, I was like, fuck that noise, I don't want to get it. Now, granted, that was the highest dosed one because it just made me feel like I wanted to crawl out of my skin all the time. Now, when I took that lower, because you had the 30 milligrams, and when I took a 10 milligram pill, it felt like, because you don't even know what coffee feels like, it felt like I had a boost of energy that lasted all day.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I'm on crack and wanting to go like do everything. No, it's just like, oh, I feel good and I can accomplish what I need to accomplish and I'm not fucking forcing myself to do anything.
Mm.
That was cool. So I could see getting addicted to that. But even then, like, whether I took it or not, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
Because if meth makes you feel at all like Adderall does, I definitely don't understand how people get addicted to it.
Well, dude, I remember before Mom passed, I was asking her about meth, and she was saying that towards the end of it, like, when she got so wrapped up in it, she was saying that, like, she was convinced that everybody was on meth.
I've heard her say that before.
She was like, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, she's like, I'm not even kidding, like, everybody. I was like, even Peter, your job, she's like, I thought everybody, she said, I thought that there was no way that people can get done what needs to get done in a day and not be on meth. And I was like, but she said that, she was like, I'm not kidding you around. Like, I didn't think that, like, some people, I thought everybody was on it. She was like, I was convinced that everybody was on meth. I was like, that's fucking nuts.
That goes into where meth starts causing hallucinations.
Yeah.
Where like you start getting this paranoia around you, and then like after you've been taking it for so long, like your reality changes.
Well, dude, but I remember like Fox telling me that like he would like trip out. Like he said one time he went to his brother's and he would like trip out. Like he thought people were after him. Like people were in the bushes, and he ended up like telling his brother. And his brother's like, "What are you doing? Like, get out of my house, dude! You brought this shit to my kids. Like, what are you doing?" But that kind of stuff, like mom and them never had any like. I know that she'd be paranoid. I remember we'd be in the living room. She'd be like, "Did someone knock on the door?"
Yeah.
I remember I was telling Jasmine, like, I remember mom used to do it all the time. Is someone at the door? And she'd like get up all fast, go check the door. And at that moment, that's just mom being like fucking hyper. I remember I'd get so annoyed by that.
So I don't know, like I don't know how we didn't think like something was going on. Maybe that's just being the night. I want to say naive with it.
Well, but it's because we grew up with her doing it at such a young age. That's all we knew mom was being that like sporadic kind of like, let's go do this. Let's go. Someone at the door.
What's funny though is I remember because our friends always thinking mom was a little weird. So when I'd introduce a new friend to mom, I'd be like, she's weird. I'd have to like throw out a she's weird disclaimer.
Well, dude, I'll never forget. I was at Drew's house, and I don't know why mom never cared, but it was like almost maybe like a game to like run from her with weed. Like we were in the garage hotboxing at Drew's house, and I saw mom's car pull up, so I ran out of the garage. All my friends were in there hotboxing. She comes in there, she's like busting all their balls, like laughing, and she's like, "Well, when's Ryan going to be here?" I told Drew to tell her I'm not going to be back, and Drew was like, "Oh, he should be here in a minute." So mom like hung out for like 5-10 minutes, them smoking in the garage. She didn't believe me. He's like, "Oh, when he gets you, tell him to call me." I remember going in there, and a few of my buddies that never met mom, they're like, "Damn, dude, did your mom do coke, dude?" And she's fucking like, "Dude, she wouldn't stop talking." I was like, I remember getting offended, like, "No, dude, that's just how my mom is. She's fucking hyper." But that was still me being in a naive state. It's kind of weird, thinking back on all that. Anyways, dude, I think that, I just think that ADHD is a crock. Came to that conclusion in the last few months.
It's hard for me to make a judgment on it because I've never been hyper. I've always been very mellow. Yeah. Like you'd be more of the one to be like, yeah, it's bullshit or not.
Well, the only reason I'm saying that is just because think about like when you had your 6 cups of coffee and like trying to actually have a conversation with somebody, can you still pay attention?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
The only thing that's made me like not be able to pay attention is Adderall. Adderall like puts me way past being able to focus on one thing. I mean, I just can't sit still. I have like 4 things I want to do in my head all at the same time. And then when I'm talking to somebody, it's a struggle to listen to what they're saying. When I'm on coffee, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm focused. I can listen. I'm ready to say something else. I'm ready to have to come back. Not like I'm just waiting for my turn to talk. I'm just like, I'm listening. And I also feel like I have something to say. I'm not looking for words.
I guess I just think that like how many people are diagnosed with it now. Like I just think that it's too.
It's way overdiagnosed.
Well, and then I think like also like how's the proper way to diagnose it? You know what I mean? Like everyone knows how easy it is to scam.
There isn't a proper way. You'd have to spend a long time with a therapist and a psychologist and a psychiatrist, and them both to agree on the proper way to medicate that individual. Not go see a psychiatrist once or twice and then they give you medicine. I don't think that's the right way to do it.
Well, dude, what's crazy is so like the last time I got it, they're like, it shows 2 years ago that you were 30 milligram. Do you want to start with the 10 and then work your way up, or you just want to go to 30? I told her, no, just go to the 30. She said, okay. Wrote it down. Like that was it. I was like, wow, this is retarded. And you want to talk about pharmaceutical companies, not the gangster? Like, yeah, right. Just me saying, all I had to say was, no, let's go with the 30. That, for a drug dealer, that's an extra, $15 per pill if I wanted to sell those.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
That's why the pharmaceutical companies, they are the biggest drug dealers in the world. I mean, they deal in legal drugs and they get away with it. Yeah, I gotta go. All right.
ModeCast out. Sorry if it was a boring one, but
ModeCast out. Ryan's weak.
Jeremy came over when I was sleeping and woke me up. Later.
ModeCast out. Check you later. Hello, how are you doing? You're my best friend. Hello, Welcome to ModeCast. ModeCast out.
ModeCast out.